up, though? Welcome to another episode of Sources Chillin. I am your host, Source, of course. Man, it's always running down to the wire around here, man. Always running down to the wire. But we good, though. We good, though. Another day, another vibe. And here we are. Shout out to my man, Sports Fluent, aka Fluent, aka Tony, aka Anthony. I mean, I don't think he likes to be called Anthony, but if I had to choose between Anthony and Tony, I'm going with Anthony. And I'll apologize later. By later, I mean never. Anyway, point is, today's show is ready to go. We got 55 minutes to get it in, and that's what we're going to do. Shout out to our sponsors. We ain't got no sponsors. All right, it's cool. It's cool. Actually, we do have a sponsor. We're going to make it up as we go along. This is my book, Shorts from Source. It is 31 thoughts, poems, and stories from me. A little bit of fatherhood stuff, just life stuff. Still short read, 70 pages approximately. And you are welcome to cop that from me directly. $10 via Cash App at $MICSOURCE. Send your mailing info. I will autograph it and ship it out to you ASAP. Oh, and you get a picture of me. Hold on. You can't miss that. Like, that is fire, son. Like, who wouldn't want that in their home? I know. Who wouldn't want that in their home? That's all I'm saying. So make sure that you tap in. If you've never tapped in, cop the book. If you have copped the book, cop another one. It ain't gonna hurt you, and it'll help me. As always, we'll get to it. But like I like to start the show with a quick, yo, we live. No, that's not right. Yo, we are live. YouTube, the Sports Fluent channel, Sources Chillin. We're here till 8. Come through. ASAP. Yeah, something like that, Because you got to put it out there to the people. You got to put it out there to the people because people are busy and they forget. It's not like they're putting Sources Chillin on their calendar, on their schedule. If they did, I'd appreciate it, but that's neither here nor there. So today's show, well, let's talk about this week. What has happened this week with me? What is this? This is the beginning of July. Literally nothing. Nothing new. Still motivated, still moving forward. We're in the throes of summer. We had a beautiful day on Monday. It was like 81 degrees, perfect weather for me. I'm not with this 95, 97. I ain't about all that at all. Not even a little bit. Not even back in the day when we used to be outside for 6 hours hooping in the blazing sun. I mean, to hoop, it was worth it. But just to be outside in the hot, nah, man. Nah, I ain't with that at all. Not even a little bit. Not even a little bit. What we did have happen actually over the past few days is a lot of movement in NBA free agency. We can touch on that real quick. So, couple moves. I don't even really remember what happened first. What came first? The chicken, the egg, the Kool-Aid, the sugar, the ham, the burger. I don't know what came first, but I wrote down a couple of the moves that have happened over the past few days since the first. And the ones that have caught my eye the most is Paul George to Philly. Now, Paul George to Philly theoretically is a big deal. Theoretically, it's a big deal because you've got a proven leader that is a proven second option as well. Two-way player, plays both sides of the court, both ends of the court. Um, Unselfish, can give you 40, can give you 40 real quick. And even if one suffers, not to predict harm on anybody, but even if you lose Joel Embiid for an extended amount of time, which happens, you still have Maxey and Paul George to hold it together. Now, with that said, it's hard to think that this team in this moment could survive without one of the pieces. Like if one of the pieces is out, I think it won't be much different than what happened this year, especially if it's Embiid. Because even with an added Paul George, I think if Embiid is not there, then they dead in the water. Hate to say it. Hate to say it. I hope I don't sound ridiculous, but that's the way I see it. That's what I expect to see from Philadelphia. We also had the saddest signing. Sad to see. Klay Thompson to Dallas, yo. Wow. Who would have thunk it? We all would have thunk it. We all been thinking it since probably at least a year ago. At least a year ago, that Klay Thompson would have to move on from the Golden State Warriors at some point due to injury and lack of production overall. Like you could say, he still shot well from 3-point range. That's all well and good, but if he's unavailable and if he's a shell of himself, then he doesn't have the same effect on the Golden State Warriors. Now, when it comes to the money, you know, there was a big to do about Klay getting his money and the idea of whether you pay players for what they've done or you pay players for what they're going to do or what they still can do in the future. I can understand how both sides would look at this and be like, well, if you're the organization, you're looking at Klay, and like I just said, shell of himself, it seems, and not thinking that he can get back to the player that he was, and wondering why you would pay him, what was it, 2 years, 50 million is what he was looking for. I don't remember the numbers. I'm not a numbers guy. I don't care about the money part because for me, that has nothing to do with the actual game. But for what Klay wanted from the organization, I don't think the organization felt that he could deliver for that price tag. But if you're Klay Thompson, you look at the fact that Jordan Poole got paid, Andrew Wiggins got paid, Draymond got paid. Obviously, Steph's always going to get paid. But I'm the only one? Wow, I'm the only one that gets shortchanged? How is this the case? How can that be when I am one of the two Splash Brothers that brought all of that notoriety to this squad? And I held Steph down on the defensive end, him and Draymond especially. And I understand. After seeing everybody get paid and you're Klay Thompson, you're like, what about me? Unfortunately. And I will credit Cameron from It Is What It Is, from Mason Cam Show, Killer Cam, Killer Cam, Killer Cam, Cam. Y'all know Cameron, the rapper, former rapper anyway. Cam said months ago that Bob Meyer, which is what I thought as well, but Cam said it, Bob Meyer left that job at Golden State because he knew it was going to get to a point where something was going to have to give. Somebody was not going to get paid. Somebody was not going to get re-signed. Something was going to happen where that nucleus that brought Golden State 4 titles, somebody was going to get the short end of the stick. And I don't think he wanted to be the man to bring that hammer down. And I'm not even mad at him. Now he chilling NBA analyst. He doing his thing on the sideline. Like, he having a good life, and he doesn't have that stress anymore. I'm sure the paycheck isn't quite what it was, but either way, he doesn't have that stress, and he's not going to be remembered as being the guy that did that. So I'm not mad at Bob for making that decision. But yeah, Klay Thompson to Dallas. And if you think about it, there was no more perfect option, no more perfect opportunity for someone of Klay's stature than this squad right here. I feel like he's going to get a lot of open looks, yo. If he doesn't get open looks, that means that Kyrie, and Luca are being guarded one on one, and you know that's lunch meat. What does Shaq say? Barbecue chicken? Yeah, the defender's barbecue chicken in a one on one matchup against one of those guys. But if you have to slip and you go to double, Klay ends up with the open shot. That's a world of difference between Klay and Jones or Tim Hardaway Jr. or anybody else they would have thrown into that spot to have the open three. Imagine Klay Thompson is your guy that's getting the open three. It reminds me of the Lakers with Glenn Rice. Was it Glenn Rice? Glenn Rice was the third option. It's just a feeling that is similar to, as far as on the offensive end, it reminds me of Glenn Rice in LA. But anyway, we have Chris Paul heading to San Antonio. I think outside of Klay Thompson to Dallas, Chris Paul to San Antonio is the most perfect move. Again, outside of Klay to Dallas. It's a beautiful thing, man. Imagine this is the second time he's been able to go into a franchise who is not expecting much as far as wins. I'm thinking OKC. And if this man can come in, he's a little older than he was when he got to OKC, obviously. But if he can come in, help guide Wemby a little bit, give him some structure on the court, and hold him accountable as a leader, that's a good look, bro. That's a good look. I can't be mad at that at all on any side of the situation. See, that's why Chico's my guy right there. Chico be looking out. We got one. We got one. Appreciate you, Chico. We also have DeJounte Murray to New Orleans. I think New Orleans probably have to make a lot more decisions, a lot more moves in order to solidify their roster in any kind of way going forward. We got Mikal Bridges to New York. What they call him, Killanova. Killanova. Okay. I would like to hire everybody that ever played at Villanova. Where is Harold Presley? Is Gary McLean still alive? Dwayne McLean, Roy Pinckney, somebody, Kerry Kittles, anybody left from Villanova? I don't know. Everybody, if you played at Villanova anytime between 1979 and 2023, I believe the Knicks have an opening for you. I don't know. I don't know. It seems like the New York version of the Wildcats. The Knickerbocker Wild. I haven't thought this through. Knickerbocker Wildcats. Knickerbocker Wildcats. Knicks Cats. Nope. Can't make it work. Sorry. I tried. I don't like any of those. Donovan Mitchell re-signed in Cleveland. LeBron re-signed in LA. And who am I missing? Kyle Anderson. Mr. Anderson. Headed to Golden State. Where should DeMar DeRozan go? Does anybody know where DeMar DeRozan should go? Clearly, like, I had a discussion either this morning or last night about DeMar DeRozan That was last night. Someone was asking, why hasn't Golden State jumped on DeMar Rosen and locked him in immediately? Me personally, I'm looking at it like, I mean, DeRozan is a great offensive player. He can get a bucket. I think the only issue, if there was an issue, is that he's not he's not stretching the floor. He's not stretching the floor because he's not shooting the three. And is that the option that Golden State wants to go with? I guess. I mean, I don't know because we're at a point where I'm not saying they would get desperate, but the pickings are getting slimmer. The pickings from the free agency pool uh, are getting slimmer. Pickings are getting slimmer. So we'll have to see where DeRozan ends up. I know he was talking to the Lakers. I can see DeRozan on the Lakers. Same issue. Like DeRozan to the Lakers, eh, eh. He's he's a lot more solid and a lot more trustworthy when it comes to getting a bucket than D'Angelo Russell. I'm just thinking. I trust DeMar. If LeBron wasn't on the court, I can trust DeMar DeRozan to get a bucket. Hmm. I'm thinking this through in this moment. If LeBron, as he gets older, becomes more facilitator than anything else, with DeRozan and then AD supposedly taking over as the leader of the team, which we've been waiting for the last year or two, is that a bad look? That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look. That's not a bad look as I think about it. I'm not mad at that consideration. So it could be LeBron, DeRozan, and AD. Yeah, that's not bad. I mean, I don't think it's a world beater squad, but that's not bad at all. It's crazy that I'm saying I don't think it's a world beater squad, and it's DeMar DeRozan, Anthony Davis, and LeBron James. How is that not a world beater squad? Because everybody got 2 to 3. Everybody's got 2 to 3 if they are in contention, and that's just the way the game is. Boston got 4. Boston got 5. Like Boston got all whatever you need. Boston got it. So anyway, that is my thoughts on DeMar DeRozan. Actually, that's my thoughts on the NBA free agency. If you have any thoughts on free agency or um, the NBA in general, drop them in the comments. Feel free to do so. Does anybody watch Club Shay Shay at this point? Ever since the debacle with Amanda Seal, I've been less intrigued or less focused on watching Club Shay Shay. But when he has a good guest, when he has a guest that I'm actually interested in, I'm still checking in. So I was watching, again, mentioning Cam and Mace. I was watching Cam and Mace yesterday. As the show ended, I did mention Bridges, yep. As the show ended, um, YouTube will start another show. So it popped up. I saw Shannon Sharp and I saw Meg Thee Stallion. I was like, this could be interesting. Before I get to that, did you see Shannon Sharp at the Las Vegas Aces game last night? It was Indiana versus Las Vegas. Indiana took the L. Um, Asia Wilson did her thing. Kelsey Plum had 34. Kelsey Plum was probably like, oh, 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 you mean you gonna break my scoring record in college, Caitlin? You gonna get these buckets tonight? Yeah, Kelsey Plum gave them people 34. Caitlin Clark played okay. To say she played okay and she almost had a triple double, I mean, if you just look at the numbers, you might be like, she played pretty well. She played okay. If you watch the game, she played okay. I think she had 13, 11, and 8, something like that. It wasn't a clean 13, 11, and 8, and Jackie Young was giving her the business because Jack plays defense. If you don't know Jackie Young, is a problem. Imagine being Jackie Young. Jackie Young is probably not even, let's see, Asia, Chelsea, Kelsey, Jackie. Jackie Young, for a lot of people, is the fourth person you think of when you think of the Las Vegas Aces. Third for me in reality, but for a lot of people, she's the fourth person you think of. And she is all the problems, offense and defense. It's wild. So the Aces are stacked, and we see they've won, what, 6 games straight since Chelsea Gray's been back? Because I told the people, I tried to tell them the only thing wrong with the Aces is that Chelsea Gray ain't out there. When she come back, it's gonna be back to business, and that's exactly what it's been since Gray has been back. But back to Shannon Sharp. It's the end of the game. I think Asia had right at 30 and 9 boards. She's walking off the court. The first thing Shannon Sharp says is, "You couldn't get one more rebound. You couldn't get one more rebound. I said that you was gonna have whatever double double." Now, maybe they have a relationship. I don't know. But just watching it, I was like, I ain't like it. I didn't like it. I like Asia. First of all, I like Asia Wilson. That's point number one. But it was just weird. Weird energy. He always has weird energy. I don't know. I don't know. Can't trust it. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I like watching Shannon Sharp shows. I like watching Nightcap. I haven't watched it as much during the summer because I don't care for their uh, NBA NBA product as much as their NFL. So I'll definitely be back watching regularly when the NBA, or excuse me, when the NFL kicks back in. But until then, I'll watch sparingly. I catch it when I catch it. If I don't, I don't. But yeah, I didn't like that. Nevertheless, he interviewed Meg Thee Stallion, and I gotta say, man, I've never disliked Meg at all. I like Meg. I think she's dope. What she does, I think that it's a weird energy watching men respond to Meg Thee Stallion because they, a lot of people seem to hate her for legitimately no reason. Legitimately no reason. And I watched the interview, and all I could think was, if you don't like this young lady right here, then what are like? That's a personal problem. That's a personal problem. Yeah, it was bad business. I didn't like it. I didn't like the way that. I don't like the way that guys act towards her. Generally speaking, I mean, people dragged her. She got shot. She was the victim. They dragged her in. She make a song talking about the same thing that we men have rapped about forever, and the opposite. WAP, as opposed to talking about ourselves. Hate that. She's a boss. Hate that. What? There's literally nothing that this person has done that I can think of that would garner this much hate. But this is the same energy that we see for Beyonce, to be honest. Same energy, not the same level, but the same energy. It's just weird. Dudes are weird. I'd be the first to say dudes are weird. I'm a man. We, generally, are weird. Weird. Untrustworthy, but weird. We can do better. Will we do better? No. But we can. That's all I'm saying. So I implore you to watch the Meg Thee Stallion interview with Shannon Sharp if you care anything about her, or if you just want some entertainment. It's only an hour long. Most of his interviews are between 2.5 and 3 hours. This one was an hour actually, and yeah, it was solid. She is smart, well spoken, like confident. She is all the things. So maybe that's why dudes don't like her, because she's all the things. Maybe it's intimidating for some people. I don't know. Seemed like a problem. All right. I was going to have, actually, we still have time to do it, to be honest. But I'm really about to lock in on this next topic, and I'm hoping that somebody outside of my guy, Alex, is going to comment on this next topic. All right. I mean, Alex and other people, not excluding Alex. So earlier this week, or was it last week? One day over the past week, I posted a topic on TikTok. I think it was last week, over the weekend maybe. The topic was, what is your favorite white sitcom? What is your favorite white sitcom? Give me 1 second, because the water is real. And yes, it is water, most definitely. It's a little warm outside. Be a little parched right there. The dryness gets you right there. So you got to get that water up in there to bring the vibes right. But anyway, I posted the topic. What happened was, I guess I woke up one day at the end of last week, or maybe over the weekend, whenever it was, and I ran across this topic on Facebook. Maybe somebody had posted, "What's your favorite white sitcom?" And then they mentioned a couple sitcoms that they liked, and I was like, "That is a great topic." Now, the reason I think it's a great topic is because people are funny. Now, obviously, some people will be like, why I gotta be a white topic? Why I gotta be white sitcom? Why I got Man, listen, everything in America is the topic is whiteness off rip. Okay? It's just what it is. It's gonna be the majority that's going to be the main response to a topic. So I want to make sure we were clear. I'm not talking about good times. I'm not talking about fresh off the boat. I'm not talking about the Cosby Show, A Different World, Living Single. I'm talking about shows that are predominantly white people as the characters. Okay? Seems like a simple topic, Seems like a simple topic. And when you talk to some people about topics like this, me, as a black man, not me necessarily, but just sometimes black people are going to be, because we watch black shows a lot of times. We watch shows with black people because they are few and far between, and even sometimes we'll like a show so much, even it might not be the greatest show, but we'll like it so much that we will put it in a higher regard than other people will, and that's because it resonates with us. But I didn't want anybody of my hue or darker to come in and be like, well, let me say these 5 black shows, so it ain't no question. I also don't want other people to be like, well, the fourth show I'm going to name is going to be a show with some other. Because you know how you make a list. You know how people make lists, and your top 5 whatever, and they'll be like, yeah, that's my favorite, that's my second, that's my third, and then when they get to fourth or fifth, they go off the board. They'd be like, the Jamie Foxx show is my fourth favorite comedy. And it could be, but some people will force a Jamie Foxx show or a show to show that, hey, I watch other shows too. I watch shows with black people. Like it's just a show. It's just a it is not. It is not. And we know it's not. Like we're all adults here. I think we're all adults here. Are we all adults here? We're all adults here. Let's just go with that. So I didn't want any of that. So let's be specific. Your favorite white sitcom. Drop it in the comments. I see one, The Office. Now, I've tried, bro. I tried The Office on multiple occasions. That show's not funny, yo. It's not funny. To me, I don't find the humor. I don't get it. I don't think it's funny. I also don't like Parks and Rec. What's the show that Childish Gambino was on? The Community. Community. I don't like Community. I don't like shows like that. That's just me. That's just me. But there are quite a few white sitcoms that I enjoy. Lots of them. Lots of them. Over the years, I've watched, you know, a little bit of Cheers here and there. I enjoy Cheers to an extent. Uh, Definitely watched Laverne and Shirley as probably more when I was a kid and we didn't have cable, or when we first got cable and maybe it came on in the middle of the day. But I definitely watched Laverne and Shirley, and I don't know if I count I Love Lucy because you got Ricky Ricardo as one of the main characters, and it's really only four characters for real, and one of them is not white, but it's really a white. It is a white show. Okay, fine, fine, fine. I Love Lucy is considered a white sitcom, but I definitely watched that as a kid growing up. I don't know if it's something I'd be looking for. Would The Simpsons be one? I think it's got to be. It's five family members. They all white. Moe's white. Smithers, and Burns, they white. Definitely. I was thinking maybe, but definitely. Absolutely. I didn't even write that one down. That's definitely a white show. That's definitely a white show. I'm just going to run through some that I wrote down just kind of off the top of my head, and I asked my daughters if they could think of any. They helped me with a few. But most of them are ones that I thought of. I'm not going to tell you my favorites yet. I'm going to skip over my favorites. And actually, in celebration of the 4th of July, maybe I'll do a top 5 white sitcoms. Oh, Source, you are crazy. I mean, I'm already doing an unmelanated uh, vibes session, unmelanated jam session for the 4th of July. You get it. Unmelanated, 4th of July, white people. You get it. You get it. Anyway, so we might as well crank it up to at least 7. But anyway, some of my favorites. Family Ties. Family Ties could probably be in my top 10. It's probably in my top 10 shows. Definitely appreciated Courtney Cox as a young man, as a boy. I definitely appreciated Courtney Cox. And what's funny is 2 shows just popped into my head as I say Courtney Cox. I don't know why these 2 shows popped into my head just now, but let me write them down before I forget. So, Family Ties. Appreciated that one. That was a good show. The Keaton family. And it had, to me, possibly the most fire theme song. What would we do, baby, without us? That's that splat. That's that splat. Alf. I know. Alf's not white. Everybody else is, though. Everybody else is. So Alf is definitely on the list. I watched a lot of Alf. I wanted Alf to be better than probably what it was, and in my mind it probably was better. In my mind it was probably better than what it was in reality. But yeah, Alf was cool. Speaking of aliens, Third Rock from the Sun, underappreciated show. Underappreciated. It doesn't get discussed in the grand scheme of sitcoms, and it should. Third Rock from the Sun was quality TV. The King. Okay, so this shows you how much I don't watch this show. I'm not 100% sure Like I wouldn't bet my life that it's the king of queens. Is it the king of queens or is it the king from queens? I'm not sure. I am not sure. And I would not bet my life on it. I couldn't because I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Is it the king of queens or is it the king from queens? It's got to be of queens, right? It's got to be of queens. I don't know. And I'm not betting my life on it. I mentioned Cheers, so I have to mention Frasier, the spinoff. Frasier was cool. You know, Frasier was cool. Also, my oldest daughter's name is Kelsey, and the star of Frasier was Kelsey Grammer. So, matter of fact, when I was rapping, I used to my copywritten material was under the moniker Kelsey's Grammar. Ooh, yeah, it was a play on words. It was my daughter, but then it was Kelsey Graham. Yeah, you get it. You get it. Do you not get it? You get it. You get it. All right, cool. Roseanne. I know Roseanne ain't the woman that we all thought she was. Well, not I thought she was, but we all, generally speaking, thought she was. But it's Roseanne. It wasn't a bad show at all. Wasn't a bad show at all. Night Court. Speaking of fire theme songs, Night Court had the dope theme song. Good stuff right there. If you want to take it back in the day, not my vibe, but I get it. Andy Griffith. A little bit of Andy Griffith. Uh, did I mention Laverne and Shirley? I didn't. Laverne and Shirley. You had that. You had MASH. Okay, MASH was. I eventually became okay with MASH, but MASH was a show that by the time it came on, like if MASH popped up on your TV, it was time to go to sleep. It was 1:30, 2 o'clock. It was definitely late, and it was time to go to sleep. It was like MASH came on before TV went off. Young people, did you know TV used to go off? Young people, let me say it again. Young people, did you know TV used to go off? TV used to go off. You just get, yeah, TV used to go off. Man, that is age right there, boy. That is age. Do you remember when TV used to go off? Yeah, I do. Home Improvement. That's another one that was decent. Another decent show. Three's Company with Jack and Chrissy and whatever the other lady's name was. I watched it a little bit. I didn't find it funny. None of them. I mean, none of it was funny. It wasn't funny. It wasn't funny. Mr. Roper maybe was funny, and the other one. But other than that, eh. Oh, designing women. Designing women. That was good stuff. I don't know why. These were white women from the South with a black. Is he a butler? I don't know what he was, but I probably shouldn't have liked that show. But so much. But I like. Okay, Annie Potts. It was really about Annie Potts. I ain't gonna lie to you. I did like Annie Potts. Yeah, she tough. She tough to this day, in my opinion. Even on the next show I'll mention, which is Young Sheldon, she's still holding on. I see you, Annie. Somebody let Annie Potts know that she is still holding on. Respectfully, respectfully. But yeah, Young Sheldon is very close to my top five. Very close. I really like that show. Um, it really got weird for me. A little emotional on the episode after after George passed. Man, it got a little. It was tough. I ain't gonna lie to you. It was tough. My dad, who I wasn't, I wasn't close with my dad. I'm not gonna lie to you, but he passed 5 years ago, and I've never like cried about it or anything like that. But that episode of Young Sheldon definitely hit me pretty hard. But I don't know if it was the show and seeing it on the show, or if it was uh, like trauma not dealt with. You know, because even if you're not close to your dad, it's still your dad one way or the other, and whether you're close or not, you're never going to see him again, never going to talk to him again. So maybe there was some uh, unfinished business. Maybe there was some unfinished business. I did a comedy, a sitcom, a white sitcom would bring you to some type of closure in that situation, if it is that. But anyway, the honeymooners. Any honeymooners fans? No, me neither. Never found it funny. I did understand the connection between the honeymooners and the Flintstones. It's pretty much the same show, theoretically, same characters at least, as far as the adults. But I was much more a Flintstones fan. The Flintstones was my joint. I was much more a Flintstones fan than I was a Honeymooners fan. I will tell you that. Alex mentioned The Office. Um, I'm not even. No. Two Broke Girls. Anybody? No. No, not a fan. The Wonder Years. Pretty good show. The Wonder Years was pretty good show. Malcolm in the Middle. Never watched it. I'm sure I've seen an episode or two, but it never caught my eye. Caught my attention. Oh, what was the show? Two Dads. Man, what's the show? What's the show with Charlie Sheen and then Ashton Kutcher came in and took his spot after one of Charlie Sheen's episodes. What is it called? My Two Dads? Two and a Half Men. Two and a Half Men. That's it. Two and a Half Men. Jeez, that wasn't a bad show. That wasn't a bad show at all. Yeah, shout out to. I'm not giving a shout out to anybody because who deserves a shout out from that show? I don't know. Anybody watched Silver Spoons back in the day? I always wanted Silver Spoons to be more than it was. Like in my mind, oh, Silver Spoons was dope, but it was all right. It was an all right show. Ricky Schroeder, it was okay. Alfonso Ribeiro before Carlton, it was okay. It was okay. I don't know what I thought was so cool about the show, but it was something I thought was cool about the show. I just don't know what it was. I didn't mention Growing Pains. Robin Thicke Daddy. That's Robin Thicke Daddy. Alan Thicke as the star of the show. Uh, got Kirk Cameron, Tracy Gold. Uh, Tracy Gold? Tracy Gold. Missy Gold? One of the Gold sisters. You know what Gold I'm talking about. One of them. Speaking of gold, the Goldbergs. Never has a show been more of the exact same thing, literally every episode, but I enjoyed it, than the Goldbergs. The Goldbergs is literally the same show every episode, just in different places or different characters, in different scenes. Other than that, it's literally the same show every episode. And it survived for years because it wasn't a bad show. Plus, it was talking about the Eagles every once in a while, and I appreciate that. So, yeah, the Goldbergs, they definitely had me watching on a regular basis. Mark and Mindy, man, Robin Williams, man. Robin Williams had a career, man. He had a career. Mark from Ork. He was an iconic character as a younger comedian, and turned that into whatever he turned that into. Comedic fame, movie fame, just all around fame. Robin Williams was tough, man, and he was a funny comedian. I liked the way he delivered jokes because the way Robin Williams, I talked about this in a TikTok video once. The way Robin Williams delivered jokes is kind of the way my mind works. So Robin would be, he would deliver the joke, and then he would make a joke off of the first joke, and then he would like let's say somebody in the crowd said something random, and he heard it. He would make a joke off of that, but it would be something that not everybody would necessarily get. But if you got it, it was hilarious. I love that. I love that about the way he delivered his comedy, and yeah, it's kind of how I talk, a lot of times. Because it's always the joke that not everybody gets. That I guess everybody's not that way, but for me, it's always the joke that not everybody gets. That's the one that takes me over the top. You know what I'm saying? So all that just about Mork and Mindy. That was really more about Robin Williams than Mork and Mindy because the show was cool. And mentioning Mork and Mindy makes me think of Perfect Strangers with Balky Bartodomus. Balky. You know Balky. Let me write that down because I definitely didn't think of Perfect Strangers until literally just now. Perfect Strangers. Yeah, yeah. What else we got? I mentioned Growing Pains. We're getting to my top five, really. We're getting to my top five. I feel like I have to mention, well, since I mentioned Robin Williams and his comedic stylings, and then becoming a great actor or being a great actor, whether it was comedy or drama, I have to mention another show where someone that we know for both comedy and drama, after all these years, in his early days, was a weirdo character. A weirdo character. Remember Bosom Buddies? Peter Scalera and the great Tom Hanks. These dudes they would dress up as women to live where they lived. I don't remember why. I guess because they needed an apartment, but it had to be two women, something like that. But they would dress up as women in order to live where they live, but they lived their lives as the men that they were when they went out in the world. And as the men, they were supposed to be the brothers of the women that lived in the building. It was wild. And when you think about it, it gets even more crazy. Now that I'm actually saying it out loud, it's like, yeah, it was a good show though. Don't get it twisted. It was funny. It was funny. In hindsight, it was hilarious. But if I watched it now, would I think it was hilarious? I don't know. But it was definitely funny when I was a kid. Definitely funny when I was a kid. So I think I'm down to my top five. Let me make sure I didn't miss anybody. I said Home Improvement. Yeah, I mentioned Home Improvement. All right, so I've actually got six shows left. Four of them are locked in. I think this fifth spot is kind of a battle. And also, I'd probably want to look at a list of shows just to make sure I'm not missing anything. Because I definitely could be missing a show or two that I just didn't think of. But in my final six, we'll just call it a tie at number five. At number five, we have, like I mentioned, Young Sheldon earlier, we've got The Big Bang Theory. I remember being on Facebook years ago. In my mind, it was like 2015. I don't remember when it was exactly, but in my mind, I'm thinking 2015. And I was looking for something to watch. So, in a post on Facebook, I was like, man, Somebody, you know, somebody tell me a show that I should check out. And a bunch of people mentioned the Big Bang Theory. And I was like, ain't nobody trying to watch that. And I was like, why would I watch that? That show don't even seem funny. They said it is funny. You gotta watch it. Everybody that commented said it's funny. You gotta watch it. Give it a chance. Wait, give it 3 episodes, whatever, 4 episodes. So I start the show. Eventually, get through 2 episodes, 3 episodes. I'm like, I tried this show, y'all. I'm, I don't get it. I'm gonna keep watching, but I don't get it. They said keep going. I was already gonna keep going, but I think I got to episode 4 or episode 5, and I was like, I get it. This show is funny. And from that point on, I was a fan of The Big Bang Theory. Also at number 5. All right, so the first crush that I remember having as a kid was one Alyssa Milano. Yeah, Who's the Boss? Who's the Boss was a good show. To me, it was a good show. I thought it was a very entertaining show. And Alyssa Milano, like I was really, really digging Alyssa Milano as a 9-year-old, whatever age I was. Yeah, so I'm gonna call that a tie for fifth place. The Big Bang Theory and Who's the Boss. Now these other four, I hadn't put them in order, uh, but now I have to put them in order real quick. So we'll say at number 4, Full House. Yes, loved Full House. I loved Full House when I was young or younger. I still love Full House uh, as a young adult. Had kids, they loved Full House and would watch it daily, and I love Full House again. Full House is good television, man. Danny Tanner. Uh, oh man, what are the characters' names? I'm thinking real names. Dave Coulier, Uncle Jesse, John Stamos. What is Dave Coulier's character's name? I don't remember. It doesn't matter. Cut it out. That's all you need to know. Cut it out. uh, Uncle Jesse, Joey. Sheesh, bro, I'm tripping. Uncle Jesse, Joey, DJ Stephanie, uh, Michelle, you know, Kimmy Gibbler, all of them. It's good television right there. Number 3, I'm gonna say the Golden Girls. Golden Girls is great television. Do you know the funniest part about the Golden Girls? Sophia, who was the oldest character, in real life was the youngest of the 4. Ain't that something? I mean, obviously she had on makeup to make her look older, but yes, Sophia, even though she was the oldest as the character, she was the mom of Dorothy, or yeah, of Dorothy, B. Arthur, but she was actually the youngest one. And at this point, after the passing of Betty White, and wait, Rue McClanahan passed away. Betty White was the most recent. B. Arthur died a while ago, and then Estelle Getty, who was Sophia, passed as well. Yeah, the whole cast is gone. So Golden Girls is number 3. Number 2, it's a fight to the end. I gotta go Seinfeld. Number 2 is Seinfeld, a show about nothing, legit. Because the show was about nothing, just 4 people in New York with some side characters, just doing stuff that wasn't even necessarily that funny, but it was funny. I was a big Seinfeld fan. Obviously, I put it at number two. Now I see we're running out of time, so I'm gonna give you my number one, and there's no explanation needed because if you know, you know. Modern Family, number one. Modern Family is my number one favorite white sitcom. Somebody out there's like, well, Gloria wasn't white. Oh, Manny wasn't white. Yeah, that's two people. You got one, two, three different families within a family, and two of the people are not white. It's okay. It's definitely a white show. That's all I'm saying. Anyway, we'll get to the other topic that I had, top 10 rap artists of all time for real, and we were going to make a list. We'll get to that another day. But for today, I got to be out. It's time for Ori and the Hoop Social family to pull up. So I hope y'all enjoyed the episode. Go check out Modern Family if you haven't before. And I appreciate y'all. Never forget, check me out on TikTok. And boom, cop that book. $10 via Cash App, $ MICSOURCE. Send your address. All right? Y'all have a great day, great night. Uh, and check me out on TikTok tomorrow morning for the Unmelanated Jam session to celebrate the 4th of July. Peace.